County Children and Youth Services. With me today, I have Evelyn Cruz. She is our contracted fiscal consultant. She works for York County Children and Youth. I also have Audrey Rocco, Director of Juvenile Probation, Sue Christner, the Deputy Director of Probation, and Eunice is back there somewhere. She is our new Fiscal Operations Officer for Children and Youth. So I'm here today to present a lot. First, I'm here to present amended second and third quarters for fiscal year 2021, as well as fourth quarter invoices for fiscal year 2021. I'll also be presenting fiscal year 2021's final report, fiscal year 2021-22's implementation budget, and then our needs-based budget for fiscal year 22-23, as well as service and placement provider contracts for the current fiscal year 21-22.
And in terms of motions, how would you like to carve that up?
I can let you know at the end of each one if that's okay, or do you?
You could do the invoices together, they're just amended.
Okay.
You could do all those together, but then the final report, implementation budget, needs-based and all that should be separate.
Okay, sounds good. So first I'm going to present the amended second quarter invoices for fiscal year 2021 in the total amount of $1,727,946. I'm also going to present the amended third quarter invoices for fiscal year 2021 in the total amount of $1,625,215. And then our fourth quarter invoices for fiscal year 2021 in the total amount of $1,759,249. I would ask that you approve those quarter invoices.
Motion?
All right, I'll make a motion to approve the 2021, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Second, third,
Second,
fourth.
third.
second, third, and fourth quarter, and 21-22, right?
Nope,
No,
just
no.
second, third, and fourth quarter for fiscal year 2021.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
So that's the extent of the motion.
Yep.
Yep.
All right.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve those amended quarterly invoices. Any comment or question? All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All same sign, so moved.
Next, I'm going to present our fiscal year 2021 final report. So for fiscal year 2021, we were certified at $10,158,089 with a county share of $2,224,291. We actually came in at $9,882,250, which is actually an under expenditure of $275,839. So our county share will be $2,033,635, which is a decrease of $9,717 under the certified amount. That sounds good. However, to go on, Children and Youth spent a total of $7,198,690, which was an over expenditure of Children and Youth's portion of the budget in the amount of $705,829. And this is due to increases in court order placements overall, but specifically we have had a lot of large sibling groups. Juvenile Probation spent a total of $2,683,560 and was underspent by $1,064,218. And that was due to a decrease in placements due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. I would ask that you approve our final report for fiscal year 19-20.
I'll make a motion to approve the final report.
Second the motion.
You said 1920, do you mean 2021?
Yes, I do. I'm sorry. Too many years.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the final report for 2021. Any,
I would like to add something,
Yes.
if I may.
Go for it.
I do, even with that county funds, I did want to reiterate that all of the federal funding revenue that they can pull in has not yet been invoiced. So that actual county match will come down some. As to what that number is, I don't have that yet. We have to go back and reconcile the whole year. But there was federal 4E claimings that haven't been done yet, so that will pull some of that down, just to give you a heads up.
Well, thank you for stepping in. I mean, wow, this is good news. Thank you.
So once all that's done, I can let Erin know, and she can give you what that ends up being at the very end.
Okay.
Well, thank you. And we all know whatever we need to do, we have, it's, for public safety and for other purposes, the public expects us to do what you're doing. So, we appreciate any time we can save some money, but we do recognize the responsibility. Any further comment? If not, all in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, so moved.
So next we have our fiscal year 21-22 implementation budget, so our current year. We were approved last year and certified at $10,096,796 with a county share of $2,185,186. I would ask that you approve our implementation budget.
Make a motion to approve the implementation budget for 21-22, and I got it right.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the implementation budget. Any question or comment? If not, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, so moved.
Okay. Next, we have our needs-based budget for fiscal year 22-23. Our request is for $11,246,976 with a county share of $2,290,197, which is an increase from the fiscal year 2021 implementation budget due to the following things. So our providers are increasing their rates, and it is in direct relation with residual effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. So they're trying to increase their wages to attract staff because, like everyone else, they are also struggling with hiring and keeping staff. And so if they don't have staff, they can't take our children into placement. And so it's causing a big issue with us trying to get kids into appropriate placements. They are also increasing their rates because liability as insurance has nearly doubled for these providers. Also, the state is implementing the Family First initiative as of October 1st. So there is a push to move kids out of congregate care settings and into more family-like settings. So they have congregate care settings that are becoming specialized. So they provide more evidence-based, trauma-focused services to children. And because of that, these providers have to put a lot of money into their programs to train staff. So the idea is that if we're using congregate care, that they would be going into these specialized programs because we will get more 4E funding for those programs, and the kids are getting better services and support. The issue is they are increasing their wages very, very dramatically, and so in order for us to even be in competition with other counties and them taking our children, we have to look at increasing the rates that we're paying them as well. Also changes to our staff complement. So we are requesting 2 case aides. So a case aide would do filing, paperwork, transporting kids and clients, supervising visits. So a lot of that work that takes up a lot of our caseworkers' time. So our caseworkers' time will be freed up so that they can spend more time doing those investigations and ensuring the safety of kids. We're asking for a truancy diversion caseworker. Again, with the COVID-19 pandemic and residual effects, truancy has become a totally different beast at this point. Truancy has inundated our agency, and again, truancy cases mixed with child abuse cases and neglect cases. It's taking over time that caseworkers need to be focused on child abuse and neglect. So if we have a dedicated caseworker who handles truancy, then those other caseworkers can focus on true child abuse and neglect. And we're also asking for an additional fiscal technician, and that is to just help with the changes in the budget with Family First initiative and the different types of funding streams and different things that are going on with 4E now with the congregate care settings. And lastly, because we have increases in placements and our cases are super complex right now, we are working currently with 2 agency solicitors, so that our budgeted amount for our attorneys have gone up as well. So that's where you're seeing these increases in our needs-based request. We were able to move some of our current programs to our grant portion of the budget. So our grant portion of the budget has a higher state match. So we want to put as much of our programming in there as physically possible, just because it's less county share than coming back on you guys. So we did move some of our programs over there to help with offset that cost.
Wow.
Bill and I were discussing, well, let's get a motion on the floor.
I'll make a motion to approve the needs-based budgets for 22 and 23. And I can't say thank you enough. I mean, you guys have put in a lot of work, not only preparing, but this executive summary is fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'll second the motion, Chairman.
Thank you. The comment I was about to make was that Bill and I were talking about the truancy issue that you're facing, and that's, you know, rippling into the school districts. They're having to hire their own truancy specialists, you know, because of the flood, the tidal wave
Yeah.
of truancy that they're faced with. So it's all interconnected, but we're all trying to deal with these at different things at different levels.
Yeah.
And the question I had was the aides.
Mhm.
Are those under any kind of ratio requirement that you have so many aides per?
I don't believe so, because they're not caseload carrying staff.
So those are just to relieve some of the pressure on.
Exactly, yep.
Great idea. Did you come up with that, or was the state recommending that?
No, a lot of other counties have case aides, and they're very beneficial, so we
So-
thought we were at the point to look at adding some
So
of those.
interaction with your peers, you learned of this
Yep.
position.
Mhm.
I just have a couple of comments on item 2. Erin's in my ear all the time about space, because they continue to grow because it started years ago with additional caseworkers and so on. So a couple things on the timing of that. First of all, these positions would be, in your view, they come about when?
This is July 1 of 22 is when we could hire these positions.
Fiscal year 22,
Yeah, 22, 23.
23.
Mhm.
Can I add? Actually, it would be November. You can only get 8 months of claiming
Oh,
of
okay.
funding from the state. So normally you look at like a November start
So
in the
we'll look-
fiscal year, because the state will only reimburse 8 months. So you wouldn't want to hire before then unless you absolutely need to, because then it's 100% county funds those first 4 months. So.
Gotcha.
Okay, so those, I just wanted to point out, we're looking at over a year from now for
Yes.
those,
Mhm.
you know, as we sit here. The second part of that is the office space and renovations. Obviously, you know, almost everyone in this building is looking to the city side, thinking, you know, I'm gonna go over there and spray paint my space, claim it. But that, you know, those funds will be helpful in any renovations that would be needed. I can't tell you at this point, sitting here, exactly where everyone's going to go. That's yet to be determined, but it will provide some relief, particularly agencies like Children and Youth and the sheriff, presumably when the DES moves to their building, and there's domestics. There are a number of offices that really need to stretch out, or more than stretch out, stop being elbow to elbow. So, just wanted to mention that.
Very good. Thank you. Yes.
Erin, I was wondering along the lines of the truancy diversion caseworker, do those cases come from the school districts? I mean, is that who's feeding this person?
Yeah, so the idea of the truancy diversion caseworker would be that they are catching cases actually before they even come in as a formal referral to our agency. So we have a caseworker right now who is doing half of her job as that, but it's too much for one person. So she is going to those student assistant improvement meetings with the schools before we even have an involvement with them. So we're really trying to nip it early on before it becomes a full-blown CYS case.
And also with this, you know, the staffing crisis, which is sort of universal right now, if these residential facilities where we want to send our kids don't have appropriate staff and can't take them, where do those children go?
Good question. We have kids right now that we have had to call nearly 40, 50 providers to find a placement for a child. So it is getting increasingly difficult. To date, we have been able to find a placement for a child. It may have taken days and many phone calls, but we've been able to do that. So we haven't come to that point yet where we haven't been able to find a placement for a child. So
been
we
close.
hope that it doesn't come to that point,
It
yes.
gets very, very nerve-wracking and close, particularly if it's a Friday, for example.
Yes.
And there's someone that needs to be placed, and you've got a few more hours in the day.
And the complexity of the case is also a factor in placing. And that's-
Definitely.
yeah.
And is there a push for more foster families with this Family First initiative?
Absolutely, yes, yes. All of our provider agencies are doing extensive recruitment efforts to locate and attract more foster families.
Can you tell people how they would become a foster parent in a brief?
So sure, if you would like to become a foster parent with our agency, you can just call our number, which is 228-4430, and I'll put you in contact with our foster care supervisor who can let them know how to go about becoming a foster parent.
And if I could also add with the truancy caseworker, we did put half of that salary to the truancy grant. So it would be a little bit higher reimbursement for half of that salary until that position is in place and you start seeing what kind of truancies. We don't know that it could be 100% yet grant funded, so we did 50%, and then hopefully in the future she can move it all under the ATP grant, which is a higher reimbursement.
Yeah, our concern was for the summer months and what that truancy position would look like over the summer months, because obviously school isn't in session. So I think we'll need a summer under our belt to see if there is still a need for them to continue with summer programming at schools, or whether they would just get a traditional like CYS caseload for the summer and then transition back into truancy come the school year.
Okay, thank you. We have a motion and a second to accept the needs-based budget. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, so moved.
Next, we have our contracts. So first, we have our service provider contracts for fiscal year 21-22. We have a total of 38 service provider contracts. 24 are not requesting any increases, so the remaining 14 providers are requesting increases with an average of 4%, and all of them are within our budgeted amounts. I'd ask that you approve our service provider contracts.
Make a motion that we approve the service provider contracts for 21-22 as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve those contracts. Questions or comments? If not, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, so moved.
Okay, next we have our placement provider contracts for fiscal year 21-22. So currently we have a total of 57 provider contracts. 24 are not requesting any increases, or they are medical assistance funded facilities that are at no or limited cost to the agency. The remaining 37 providers have requested increases with an average of 10.5%. All of them are within the state approved rates. Again, like we had talked about earlier, these increases are due to increasing wages to attract more employees, increased costs for liability insurance, and services needed to become more specialized and trauma informed. I will say that 10.5% is just the tip of the iceberg. It took a lot of negotiations this year to get contracts with a lot of our providers at a minimal increase. So we did build in, like Evelyn said, into our budget for bigger increases for our providers next year, because I don't know that they're going to deal well with negotiations for a second year with minimal increases. But I would ask that you approve our placement provider contracts for fiscal year 21-22.
I'll make a motion to approve the placement provider contracts for 21 and 22. And again, thank you. It
Second
must
the
be
motion.
awfully stressful.
Was that, I'm sorry.
I seconded the motion.
All right, thank you. It's been moved and seconded that we approve those 21-22 placement provider contracts. Any questions regarding the motion?
I'd
Comment?
like to make a comment.
Question.
These are obviously some very big numbers that Erin's presented today. And if you look closely at the provider, the placement providers particularly, these placements can range from $100 a day to $400. There's some outliers that are $900 a day, depending on the type of placement. I know historically, I remember one of the most expensive is that there's a placement that's maybe committed arson, and no one wants that placement, but it has to be made. And so those add up really quickly, and that's why these numbers are so big over the course of a year.
All in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, so moved.
And the last two that I have require specialized approval. These are both juvenile probation contracts. So the first one is York County Youth Development Center. They are asking for $375.60 per day. That is the same rate that they requested last year. Also, Central County's Youth Center contract, they are requesting $320 per day. That is an increase. Last year's rate was $290 a day. I would ask that you approve those two contracts.
I'll make a motion to approve the two contracts as presented.
And I'll second the motion.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve those contracts at the rates presented. Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, so moved. That's it.
Thank you,
That's it.
ladies.
No.
Thank you.
Evelyn, we want to thank Evelyn for
Yes,
all her